Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Children and vaping. Tonight, one local school district taking a stand against an e-cigarette company which they say targets middle and high school students on social media.
Is there a gratitude gap? As we prepare for the Thanksgiving holiday, a new survey finds most parents are concerned about the level of thankfulness in children.
And in the wake of a terrifying abduction in Ferndale, the Local 4 defenders reveal ways teens can spot trouble to avoid it. Glad you're with us tonight at 6. As the chilling details emerged late last week, a lot of parents couldn't help but think, what if it was my child who was targeted?
That's right. Police say this man and woman grabbed the female student at a gas station where she was fueling up her car during a break from school, as students often do. So how could this have gone differently? Local 4 defender Sean Lay went to an expert for some simple steps teens can take if trouble finds them. Sean.
Well, good evening. We're inside Detroit Urban Survival Training right here in Ferndale. Over the weekend, they were teaching survival skills to teens from Oakland and Macomb counties in the wake of that horrible abduction of the Ferndale high school student. She was abducted at gunpoint. That means you're helpless, right? Well, here they teach moves where it's all about survival. Khalil Floyd is charged with abducting a 16-year-old Ferndale high school girl at gunpoint, tying her up and sexually assaulting her over a 5-hour period. His girlfriend, Jessica Quick, is accused of helping him before police rescued the teen. The abduction truly is every parent's nightmare, and at gunpoint, there was nothing she could do.
When I heard about this abduction, the first thing I thought was, this is why we teach.
But Dale Brown and his wife Marilla say there are actually things your teen can remember right now to help them survive. They own Detroit Urban Survival Training in Ferndale. Over the weekend, they had classes for teens, teaching them skills on how to fight back from attackers. Police say Khalil Floyd first tried to talk up the girl inside the gas station. The response is all about attitude.
The person engages you, they're actually assessing you at that point. They're doing an assessment. That's why they talk to you in the gas station. Their job then is to determine if you're a good candidate to be abducted. So what you want to do is you want to project strength. You want to say, in a very positive, strong way, no thank you, I'm not interested.
The Browns teach everyone at any age to grab the gun and twist. And watch, we can't control the gun when Morella grabs it and twists it.
And so what happens is you're going over the muscle groups, and we show you how to take it so that you can remove the weapon. And she's gonna do that now. And what she did was she moved her head first. So even if I intend to shoot, so I'm gonna try to shoot when she moves, and still it's taken away. All you're doing is increasing someone's potential for survivability in a worst case scenario.
Back here live outside Detroit Urban Survival Training here in Ferndale. Dale Brown, owner and trainer, says he teaches that grab and twist move to teens, adults, and seniors. When we were holding that weapon, we could not hold on to the gun. Very interesting when he was showing us that move. In the meantime, let's get back to that horrible abduction here. Khalil Floyd being held now without bond, and Jessica Quick being held on $1 million bond. I'm Defender Sean Lay. Local 4, back to you.
Yeah, some really good tips there by Mr. Brown. We appreciate it, Sean. Thanks.
New COVID numbers from the state, lower than what we were seeing last week. Hopeful sign. We'll see if it holds up. 17,008 new cases have been reported over the past 3 days. So the daily average over the weekend, 5,600 cases. That is lower than last Monday's average, which was more than 7,000. But the 7-day positivity rate still above 17%. Almost 2 points higher than a week ago. That's troublesome. 83 more deaths, though, also being reported, including 32 from a review of vital records. There's also 140 new outbreaks in schools. That's up from last week. That comes as some districts made the call to go virtual this week. More than 10% of Michigan children ages 5 to 11 received their first dose of COVID vaccine.
Warren Consolidated Schools joining a nationwide lawsuit against e-cigarette maker Juul, claiming the company has intentionally addicted young people to vaping. The lawsuit claims the vapors use highly addictive nicotine salts and youth-attracting flavors such as bubble gum and mint. It also says the product's design and the company's social media marketing directly targets teens. The district is suing for compensation related to resources it is used to catch and discipline kids who are vaping in schools.
The bipartisan infrastructure bill sending lots of money to Michigan, but where will it be used? Well, one of the most urgent needs is replacing lead pipes in cities where lead has shown up in the drinking water. The lead issue brought officials to Hamtramck today. As Victor Williams reports, they brought good news about solutions to a problem that had a lot of families worried.
I always hear something on the news channels about people will boil your water, boil your water. You know, hey, it haven't been replaced or anything done to them in years. So.
Residents in Hamtramck are rejoicing in the fact that the city is now one step closer to having lead pipes replaced.
There's a lot of work that can be done here. I haven't seen nothing like that going on.
As a matter of fact, with the new bipartisan infrastructure bill recently signed into law by President Joe Biden, all lead pipes are expected to be replaced in a multi-trillion-dollar plan that will redesign the nation's water infrastructure and all major roadways.
It's long overdue. Michigan can use it.
It was all discussed today in a press conference held by Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence and other state officials.
Flooding and lead pipes is real to these constituents. It's not something they're reading in a book.
In the state of Michigan alone, $7.3 billion will go towards fixing roads, highways, and bridges, while $1.3 billion will now be allocated to replace lead pipes, something that hasn't happened in nearly an entire century.
90 years we've been playing this game, and now it's affecting the lives of citizens in this country.
And if all goes as planned, that means lots of jobs will be created to make everything happen.
We're putting the money out here to do the work, but we're bringing a workforce.
And there are also plans to create more electric vehicle charging stations, as well as plans to also make the internet more accessible to every single American. As far as that construction, it is set to take place at the beginning of next summer. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Yeah. All right, Victor.
Well, the COVID situation in Michigan is causing a lot of concern as we approach the Thanksgiving holiday. And not surprisingly, many people have questions about boosters. Our Dr. Frank McGeorge is here live to answer more of your questions submitted to clickondetroit.com. Hi, Doc.
Hey, Kim. Yeah, so a viewer named Liz asks, I received both doses of the Moderna vaccine plus a booster. Am I still at risk? Have there been any breakthrough cases after receiving the booster? Well, Liz, unfortunately, the truth is there have been some breakthrough cases even after a full vaccine series plus a booster. And that's why during times of increased spread like we're having right now in Michigan, masking in public is recommended even when you're vaccinated. Now, the good news is that breakthrough cases with the vaccinations that you have are generally not very severe. Now, here are some more of your questions. Christine asks, I received my third Moderna vaccine and was told it's not actually a booster and is a full dose shot, and there is no such thing as a Moderna booster. My parents also got their third Moderna vaccine and were told that it's a booster and is a half dose. Who's right? There is a Moderna booster, and it's a half dose of the original vaccine. However, immune-compromised people can get a third dose of Moderna, which is a full dose. That additional dose is not considered a booster, but rather part of the original vaccine series for those who may not have responded sufficiently to 2 doses. Now, another viewer asks, is there a J&J booster shot? I would prefer not to mix the vaccines. The J&J booster is simply a second dose of the original vaccine you received. It's recommended for everyone who received J&J at least 2 months after your initial dose. If you did want to mix and match, you could choose to receive a Pfizer or a Moderna booster instead. Now, another viewer asks, I want to know if it's safe for the family to gather for Thanksgiving when I have elderly parents fully vaccinated, but my father is weak as he just finished chemo and has a heart condition. Only half of the family is vaccinated. Only you can determine if it's safe. My opinion is that there is some real risk that you should be aware of. As you point out, even though your elderly father is vaccinated, the recent chemotherapy puts him at a higher risk. Adding unvaccinated family in the mix only increases the risk to everyone, but especially him. To improve the safety, I would suggest testing everyone with a rapid test before the gathering and limiting his unmasked exposures. Now finally, Mary Ann asks, originally I received the J&J in March and a Moderna booster last week. My question is, when would I need either another vaccine or another booster? So that's a really good question, and unfortunately we simply don't know. That can only be answered as we study how well the immunity holds up over a longer period of time. Back to you.
I always look forward to hearing the answers to those very good questions that you're getting from Click On. Dr. McGeorge, we appreciate it.
Well, if you're a parent, do you think your children are as thankful as they should be? The answer 4 out of 5 parents gave to that question coming up.
We'll have that, and here's Andrew.
And Kimberly and Devin, a chilly day today, but filled with sunshine. It gets colder quickly, though, with the sun already set into the 20s before you join us at 11 o'clock. But it remains clear and dry. We'll talk about how low temperatures go overnight, what you can expect tomorrow, Travel Day Wednesday into Thanksgiving and beyond coming up.
Plus, both hands on the wheel and check those mirrors. We reveal the most likely spots for accidents on one of our busiest freeways.
And if you're a fan of America's Thanksgiving Parade, check this out. Hold up your phone's camera, point it at this QR code on the screen, and this will take you to the link where you can choose the view of the parade you want to watch this week. All you have to do is sign up to be a WDIV insider, and boom, you got the best seats in the house, and you can act as your own director. We'll be right back.